think it's a bunch of bull. Trump ain't done that. Wrong thing Trump done is saved this country.
They're not going to let it stop. They can't stand the fact that he's running for president. And I am a Donald Trump fan.
It's probably altered, but it's just typical liberal propaganda.
None of the Republican voters CNN spoke with had read the indictment.
No, I wouldn't waste my time on a phony indictment.
It's phony. It's bogus. Have I read it? You bet your ass I have not read it, sir. I haven't read a book since 1982, sir. I mean, come on, for the love of, it's just and I understand there's a cult of personality around Trump, but to be so severe and pervasive that they don't even know what the indictment's about. They have not a clue what it's about, but they are certain it is fraudulent. I mean, Jackson, it's disheartening as much as it is funny, right? Because of course we want to laugh at the ridiculousness of these people's ignorance, but simultaneously those people vote in elections, and that's how Donald Trump became president in the first place.
And they often vote more and harder than liberals, time after time. Oftentimes liberals don't necessarily, and by liberal I mean pretty much anybody to the left, oftentimes don't show up to the polls, not necessarily for bad reason, but won't show up to the polls. Entire groups won't show up. Young people, the black vote, Hispanic vote. You see that happening all the time within the Democratic Party. So yes, you're very right, they vote. But it's really crazy to watch because it's like Donald Trump, the 2-time indicted, okay? Like he just took documents and just didn't give them back. And then the other time it was because he paid off a porn star with campaign dollars. He was impeached twice. My man is coming with quadruples, twice impeached, twice indicted, and then his entire life is littered with financial crime. Donald Trump has ripped off thousands of people over the decades. That's not hyperbole. That's what he does. Donald Trump rips people off. His bankruptcies in a lot of ways are strategic. It's not just, I suck at business. It's if this company goes bankrupt, I can pocket the 5% while the other 95% go to hell. That's what he does. He's a fraud. He's a con artist. So, I mean, at this point, when he said he could go out on Fifth Ave and pop somebody in the head, he really wasn't lying. Because, I mean, what more do they need to see? They can't move on from a man who has one shot left.
Right. I mean, he's so much of a fraud that when things were looking bad for him, he decided to start selling NFTs of himself photoshopped on the moon and in a cowboy outfit. I mean, the guy is an absolute, he's just a clown. So much so that you pointed out he's been indicted twice now. I mean, on how many charges? I think it was 38 this last time.
Yeah, 37, 38, something like that in the last one. And I don't remember what the previous one was because it's so hard to keep up with it.
Right, but I think my favorite thing about his statement post the federal indictment that just came down was in his statement, he said, I can't imagine ever being indicted. And I'm like, yes, you can, sir. It just happened to you last month. It's right. Same thing, but not at a state level. I mean, I think you can perfectly imagine what it's like to be indicted. Right. But as I said, the reaction of the Trump supporters is concerning, and I want to show you this headline from The Guardian, and as to why I think it's really concerning. So, according to The Guardian, 12 million Americans believe violence is justified to restore Trump to power, and they have a graph here that shows the support over time. Belief that the use of force is justified to restore Trump to presidency has declined, thank God. But I mean,
well, it's still 12 million, so that's quite a bit of people. But
at one point, it was almost 10% of the adults in the United States. In September of 2021, it was almost 10%. That's horrifying. I'm sorry, that's nothing to me but mortifying.
Yeah, and again, because the thing is it's like, this isn't gonna just disappear. It's not. And the craziest thing about it to me is it's like, when you really dissect it, these people really want a dictatorship. They really do want that. Mm-hmm. They feel as though the only way we can get this country back on track is if somebody just comes in and takes it. If somebody just comes in and does what they want, to hell with all these rules that separate the powers. That's the path that the Republican Party is on. When they reversed Roe v. Wade, they didn't need any evidence to know that that was going to be a bad idea. It passed 50 years ago. After they reversed it, state after state passing these 12-week, 6-week abortion bans, making it more difficult to vote. Republicans are the Supreme Court making it so that the EPA can't do its job. Time after time, all the Republican Party's doing is moving further to the right. So again, I say all that to say, the reality of Donald Trump is that after 2024, that's really it. That's it for him. And they can't see it. So what are they going to do when he ultimately almost certainly loses? Donald Trump almost certainly is not going to be president again. So how are they going to react to that?
Right.
Got to find out.
Well, how are they going to react if Donald Trump actually has to spend some time in prison? That's
right.
Concerning too. I mean, although the shows of support for him have been pretty weak lately, there wasn't that big of a rally outside the courthouse when he was indicted in New York. It doesn't look like there's going to be that big of a one in Miami, or there wasn't. It's just, but having this many people actually believe that. I mean, of course, we saw Trump supporters literally be willing to storm the Capitol building to try to impose Trump. But I think you're right. There's something really ironic about them claiming that they're doing this to preserve democracy, but their version of preserving democracy is overthrowing the democratically elected president to install a dictator in Donald Trump.
Right, basically they want a monarchy or something like that.
Right.
Because it's just so, and Ron DeSantis is clearly not the savior. He's not coming to rescue the establishment. So there's really no one else for them to pan to. At least right now. But again, after 2020, Trump ain't running for no other office. Trump's an old man. Trump, he may not act, he acts like a child, you know what I'm saying? But he is an old man, and this is it for him. But they can't see it.
Yeah, given the way that he eats, I'm shocked that he's even made it this far.
I guess it's just because he's rich. And evil people have a way of just living for a very long time.
Right.
That's just how life
Shout
goes.
out Henry Kissinger.
Right, he's still around. Ain't he like 100 years old or something?
Yes, he just turned 100.
Yeah, man, the dark hearts last, man. That's all it is.